What's up, YouTube? Back on the kitchen table again, this time with a personal favorite from my audio collection. This is the Onkyo TX-8522 stereo receiver, and as you can see, it's in almost mint condition. There's a tiny scratch on the top of the case there, but other than that, and a few fingerprint smudges, this thing is basically brand new, and I actually purchased it used. I got a pretty outstanding price on Craigslist. The guy said his mother-in-law had purchased it. It came in a box for a home theater Onkyo receiver. He said basically she bought the stereo one and it was the wrong thing and went back and bought a home theater receiver and just put this thing in the box and let it sit. And I think this unit dates from about 2011. And we'll go around to the back side and show you the connections on the back. It has quite a few sets of inputs. Antenna connections. It has some decent binding posts for the speaker terminals. This amplifier is 4 ohm stable, and the two pairs of speakers are connected in parallel. So if you have both pairs running at the same time, you have to use 8 ohm minimum impedance speakers. And we have 2 switched power outlets on the far side. And this unit did come with a remote control. And it does have a motorized volume knob. Which of course isn't going to work on camera. There we go. It's too close. Normally I would take the cover off and show you what's inside this thing, but to be honest, it made me nervous even moving this thing to the table from my bedroom. But what I am going to do today is we're going to use my distortion detector to check the clipping points on this amplifier. So first thing we're going to do is check my computer and make sure the output's clean. This is a 0 decibel, 40 hertz test tone. And we'll turn the DD-1 on, and it's detecting. Make sure the volume is all the way up, so we know that this computer is clean at 40 hertz. And we have the 1 kilohertz test tone. And as you can see, it's detecting and it's clean. So now we'll go ahead and hook the amplifier up and show the points where it clips on each tone. Alright, here's the current setup. We have the DD-1 hooked up to the B speaker outputs on one channel. We only have the B speakers engaged on the unit because I don't want to blow my ears away or blow my speakers away, and I don't want to listen to test tones. But anyways, as you can see, it's picking up the 1 kilohertz tone. Okay. Here's the distortion point. Back it off. And that's where the volume knob is. Showing distortion. Back it off a hair. Okay, so that's the maximum clean output at 1 kilohertz. Oh, it's going in and out. It's right on the edge there. we'll go ahead and turn it down, because realistically it's probably a little dangerous for the health of this amplifier to have it hooked up like I do. It shouldn't hurt it for short time periods, but realistically I should have a dummy load hooked up at the same time I'm doing this. But anyways, we'll go ahead and go to the computer. Go back over to the 40 Hertz test tone. And of course, having it powered on would help. There's our 40 Hertz detect. Distortion. Alright, we're back again. Just had some technical difficulties. Had to get a new 9-volt battery in the SMD DD-1. Kind of disappointing. It was not a very old battery. But anyways, here we are again, and this time we're going to run the 40 Hertz tone. It's detecting. And there's distortion, so we'll back it off. And that's our position. So not bad. This thing's clean, roughly 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up. And that of course is going to be dependent on what kind of source, how strong the pre-out voltage from your source is, and which input. Obviously it's going to be different if you're using a phono input and a preamp, things of that nature. But this is just to give kind of a baseline indication, and also just show a couple of the features of this real quick. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just has some bass treble controls. Doesn't have any kind of loudness controls. Has a left-right balance control. Also has this, which is pure audio, and what that function does is a tone defeat combined with a display blackout. So I actually really like the way it looks just with a little blue light and the display blacked out. It's nice if you're sleeping with music on, but I kind of wish that it just had a separate tone defeat. And as you can see, speakers A/B selector, and it has a lot of inputs, but feature wise it's fairly basic. Unfortunately, this unit doesn't have any low frequency subwoofer output channel or anything like that, but it's got a good tone. It doesn't sound as good as my Kenwood, but it's very powerful. It's rated at 100 watts at 8 ohms per channel, into 8 ohms each channel, excuse me. And also, one other note is this amp actually has a selectable speaker impedance function on the unit, which is a current limiter. And for these tests, I did have the current limiting engaged. I had it set to the low impedance mode. Just trying to give the amp a little chance of a little bit better chance of making it through the test, and of course it got through fine. But enough talk, we're going to go ahead and have a quick music test and hear how this thing sounds. sounds pretty good to me, and really pumps these speakers. And I'm sure there'll be more videos about this thing in the future. Just wanted to show y'all.